Hi, Sarah again. You guys got a little bit of a look into how we got here, how me and my family got here in the last video. Like I said, I had stage 2 Burkitt's lymphoma, which is just a type of lymphoma. Something I like to address is that everybody's different. Everybody copes with things different, and everybody just deals with everything differently. Like when my mom died, me and my siblings, we really tried to rely on each other, but, me and my brother Jacob, who was just 2 years older than me, we used to get in fights a lot because we see stuff so much differently. We see the world so much differently. Yeah, we are alike and we agree on things, but when it came to stuff with my mom, he saw things completely different. So everybody copes, everybody grieves, everybody does everything differently. So even though that me and my brother are related, we saw the same stuff that my mom had to go through. We saw it was our mom, but we still had different opinions on what happened and what should happen. And we get in fights all the time about my dad and stuff because he sees my dad a lot differently than I see my dad, which is fine. I mean, I'm open to listening to his opinions, but it's just hard. So, like I said, I have Burkitt's lymphoma, which is kind of scary because I had stage 2, and something that I learned is that Burkitt's is one of the fastest growing cancers. Like, it can grow from stage 1 to stage 3 in as little as 14 hours. So I'm very thankful I caught it when I did because I would have never gone into the doctors and stuff. A lot of people say, well, was it easier for you because you got to see what your mom went through? Yeah, it was a lot easier, but it was also a lot different. My experience with chemotherapy was a lot different than Mom's experience. She would go just in for the day, and her chemo would run over a couple hours, but like I said, I was in the hospital for a week at a time doing chemotherapy. So that was a lot different, but I also did a lot of the same things. Like, she always had doctor's appointments. I always have doctor's appointments still to this day, even though I'm cancer-free. So it was a lot different. So just back to how to deal with other people. So my friends, they've been really good, but there's also my friends that haven't been good. So that's always difficult. It's always difficult to have people who don't understand and people who treat you differently. When my mom died, I told my friends that my mom had cancer and stuff, but I know some of them actually didn't believe me and stuff like that, but I never really told them the serious stuff. I never really told them that, hey, she's going to pass away, she's terminal and stuff. I never told them the seriousness. And most of them probably forgot. I mean, I was 13 at the time. No one really cared about that kind of stuff. So when she died and I wasn't there and, my teachers told everybody that was in my class, I think they're like, whoa. They kind of treated me differently, but they kind of didn't, which partially that's my fault. I never really showed how I was feeling. I got in a lot of trouble at school. A lot. And when my mom died, it changed me for the worse. It changes people. Death changes people, cancer changes people, but when my mom died, it changed me. For the good, I shouldn't say for the worse, but there was definitely more qualities that changed me for the worse. There were some qualities that changed me for the better. I only cared about my family. My family was my number one priority, which is fine, but I never cared about school at all. I never did my homework. I messed around in class. But really, it was no problem to me because I went home and I cooked dinner and I spent time with my family and I laughed with my family. I care about my family more than anything in the world. I would do anything for them. I would risk my life for them. And I love them so much. But I never understood why school was important. And I used to get in fights with my sister for hours and hours because I wasn't doing my schoolwork. I wasn't doing anything I should be doing in school. So when I got diagnosed, it definitely changed me for the better. It was kind of like a wake-up call, like, hey, you cannot be going down this path. I was 14 when I got diagnosed. So at 14 years old, having that big of a wake-up call, I can be nothing but thankful. Now school is very important to me. my family is still my number one priority, which is fine, but I just kind of realized that your family can be your number one priority and school can be important also. Because I realized that if I want the things that I want in life, I have to go through school. I can't have a big family and not have an education, because who's going to teach my kids? How am I supposed to get a job and pay for my kids? So I kind of just realized that. And I do regret not thinking school is important in my middle school years, but I'm glad that I got that out of my system, because I don't want to be going through my high school years when it's really important. Not that middle school is important, I'm not saying that. I'm glad, but I am glad that I got it out of my system. Instead of messing around in high school, I got to mess around in middle school, when if I do that now, you need to pass your classes else you don't graduate, and I don't want to be that loser that doesn't graduate. So, just to go back, it was a big wake-up call, and, I needed, at least, I know not everybody, I needed that wake-up call, because if this did not happen to me, I guarantee you I would still be the person saying that I don't give a rat's ass about school. But, now I do, and I still can take my family to be my number one priority, but school can be my second priority. I have a lot of responsibilities, and I'm okay with that. I need to be able to stay on top of things. And, it's a lot harder for me than it is for other kids, because I have to miss school for doctor's appointments, and I get sick a lot easier because my immune system is so low. So, like I said, everybody grieves differently. Don't judge people, and I know that if you have family members or friends that are going through this and you see it differently, please don't get mad at them, because it's hard. It's hard for anybody, and you just gotta try. I know that it's a lot easier said than done, but if you are disagreeing with a family member or a friend or anybody like that about something, you just try to listen to what they have to say. Like with my brother, I have this experience with him. I may in the moment get really upset with him and not listen, but then I go to cool off and I think about, okay, this is what he's saying. It's a lot easier than just not listening altogether and then always being mad about it. I'm able to say, okay, he sees it this way and I see where he's coming from, but I still feel that way. And it's a lot easier to have that conversation than just this big screaming match and then dropping it and then having another fight about it a week later. So just try to listen. Because, one day if you think about it, one day you might not have that close relationship to be able to talk about it. So just, everybody deals with stuff differently, like I said. So just try. If you have any questions, please comment or, try to get in contact with me. Alright, thank you. Have a good day.